Good morning everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. Today I'm going to be talking to you on the microphone and not through the camera simply because we've been having the worst wind the past couple days. Wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour and it's just kind of messing everything up. So this nice clean plumbago bed that Jason and I just mulched now has some leaves and branches all over it, but that's okay. So today I needed to get out here in the wind because I needed to plant up my bare root peonies. And I've always been really hesitant to plant peonies because I've always heard that they need proper chill time during the winter and we just don't get that cold. Here I'm going to show you where I'm planning to plant them. I found this fabulous article that I'll link down below from, I think it's called Cricket Garden Farms. And the article is titled Growing Peonies in Zones 8 and 9. And it was just so interesting, the techniques that they used to plant peonies in warmer climates. And here I'm just showing you how windy it is and how lip gloss was quite a terrible choice today because my hair just kept getting stuck in it and I just could not function. So here I'm going to show you the different peonies. I got 5 different ones. This first one is called a sorbet. It's kind of a mix between a pink and a cream. And right there you can see the eyes of the peonies along with the roots. And the eyes are really important on bare root peonies because those need to be planted no deeper than 1 inch below the soil level. The next one is Festiva Maxima, and this one is a really good one, apparently to grow in warmer climates, according to the article that I read. There's certain varieties that just do a lot better where things are warmer, and this was one of them, so I grabbed it when I saw it at the store. Now I'm kind of disappointed because even after soaking these peonies for a couple hours, I could not find any eyes. I'm sure it's probably wrapped up in the middle somewhere. I'm gonna plant it anyway, but I couldn't find it. And I kept looking and thinking it was covered with dirt. Hopefully they got me a piece that had an eye. Like I said, I'm gonna plant it anyway, but we'll see. Moving on, the next peony I have to show you guys is Shirley Temple. And it's so cute. It starts off as this light pink color, and then as it ages, it turns to a creamy white. And there you can see that one has some pretty good eyes. And then this one is called Dr. Alexander Fleming. And this is what I got in the package. This dinky little thing with the roots, but it does have roots and it does have eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna plant that and hopefully it'll turn out well. And then the last one, the 5th one, is Bowl of Beauty. And I thought these were absolutely gorgeous. You can see that's a really good bare root with tons of eyes and lots of roots coming off of that. So I'm just going to show you the other equipment that I have today, and that includes my drip irrigation. In that article, I read that you want, in warmer zones, you want to make sure that you irrigate your peonies with a 1 gallon per hour emitter that I'm going to show you right now. And you want to water your peonies about every other day, which is perfect for my usual watering system. And you can see with these rainbirds, it says right there on the edge, 1 gallon per hour emitter. So I'll be connecting one of these to each one of my bare root peonies that I plant. So in addition to the irrigation, I also brought out my plant labels, and I'm using these metal plant labels that I'll show you in just a second, and then used my P-Touch labeler with the goal of having these labels last a little bit longer. I know I need to get that garden marker, but I also thought that this would be a little bit neater. And then right next to that, I have my razor blade that I'm going to use to cut an X into the landscape fabric because this garden bed does have landscape fabric underneath it. So in that article, the other tip that they gave for growing peonies in warm climates was also to plant in certain microclimates in your garden. And that the main thing was planting in an area that would get morning sun, at least 6 hours of morning sun, and afternoon shade. And this east-facing fence is absolutely perfect for that. It gets sun until about 1:30, 2 o'clock, maybe a little bit longer during the summer, and then shade once the sun goes over the house and behind the fence right there. So I think it'll be really happy. It'll be a happy spot for my peonies, I think. So what you can see me doing now is moving back the mulch that Jason and I just put in this bed. Yes, it probably would have been easier to plant these before, but I just wasn't ready to focus on that yet. And once I cut a hole in the landscape fabric, I just took my fork, my digging fork, and I loosened the soil up about 12 to 18 inches. That's really important for root development of peonies. Then I would put some starter fertilizer on it so there was plenty of nutrition for the peony. And you'll see I dig a little moat with a hill in the middle, just like I did for my bleeding hearts. And I would put the bare root right on that hill to ensure that the eyes were staying close enough to the surface of the soil. Now, I completely understand that these are bare roots and they very well might not bloom this season, but I wanted to get them in the ground. I wanted to work with them. I wanted to start working on my garden for long term. Here you can see I'm installing the drip irrigation, and it's just connected to my 1/2-inch tubing where that was already installed there to water the plumbago beds. I would just insert in a 1/4-inch drip tubing, and then I had those 1 gallon per hour emitters that I just pointed right at the peony root. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue planting. Again, I'm just going to loosen up all the soil about 12 to 18 inches, add in some starter fertilizer just to really get things nice and healthy and growing. Honestly, this soil in this bed is fantastic. There were so many worms in there. It was, I was really happy to see what good soil was in there. So I think that it's going to be fine. So after digging and loosening up the dirt, creating the little moat for the roots to go in, and then having a little hill in the middle that you can ensure that you're not planting the roots too deeply. So my biggest concern that I had with planting peonies in such a warm climate was that the peonies wouldn't get enough chill time during the winter to bloom the next season. Peonies need quite a large amount of chill time during the winter to set blooms for the next season, and I didn't think that we got cold enough. So when I was reading the article that was explaining how to grow peonies in zones 8 and 9, it had a couple suggestions that I thought were really helpful. One of them was planting in certain microclimates in your yard. And the suggestions it had was planting in a spot that got morning sun, 6 hours of morning sun, and then also afternoon shade. And so this spot right here is absolutely perfect because it's going to be nice and shady from the hottest part of the day. The article also talked about planting on a hill, which, like, what do you know? This bed is on a little bit of a slope, so that's fantastic. Apparently it keeps the ground a little bit cooler. And then doing a couple things that are a little crazy plant lady-esque, but I don't care. I want my peonies to bloom, and I'm okay doing a couple things if I have time. And that includes cutting the peony back in November to force dormancy. We don't get cold enough, until late December, January. And so by cutting the peony down all the way to the ground in November, it kind of forces the peony to think, okay, it's time to go to bed now. And that will help with your chill period. The other thing is coming out once a week in December and January and pouring ice on your peony, which I know is crazy. I totally get it, but I figure December and January are pretty quiet months for me in the garden, and I think I can come out once a week and pour some ice from my freezer ice maker and put it on the peonies. So hopefully that will help. Who knows? I figure might as well try. So here I am all done planting my peonies. Now it's time to put in my obelisk or tutor from Kinsman Gardens that I purchased. I'll link it down below. I got it from Amazon, and it perfectly matches the lattice arch that you see just right behind me right there for my Eden climbing roses. And I'm really excited about this. My plan is to let this plumbago grow up this tutor, and hopefully it'll keep it a little bit more controlled. And then the wind started going crazy. I started getting these really big gusts of wind, and what do you know? it took my camera over. And by then, I was just done. Luckily, my camera didn't break, but I was absolutely frustrated. Okay, you guys, I got the obelisk up. It's hard to see in this lighting, but it matches the arch perfectly. Both of them are from Kinsman Garden Supply. I'm gonna have to look at that and see if that's straight. I can't tell. And I got all the peonies in over here. Just got to take my bowls back inside. I'm sorry I couldn't really talk very much while I was planting this. It is just so windy today. And I know it's no comparison to all of you that are dealing with all the snow, multiple feet of snow, but it's hard to plant when it's windy like this. And as you can see, lip gloss was a bad choice. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm not sure if these peonies are gonna bloom this year, but it's kind of like a long-term thing. And I think it will be fun to see if I can get them to bloom in our zone, my zone, zone 9, which is a little bit warmer and doesn't have those chill temperatures in the winter. So it'll be a fun project. It'll be fun to see if I can, get these to work. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thank you.